Yeah, I am Kevin, the contractor CFO, and in today's video contracting business help, we're gonna, believe this is part three of the series, or maybe part four of the series, contracting business help. We're gonna go over actually how to delegate. But first, we're gonna, why should you listen to me in the first place? So we'll go over some of that, who I am, contractor CFO and COO, meaning I help you make more money. That's in simplest terms I can put it. I help you make more money. All right, the core of our business is doing small business tax and accounting, which a lot of people feel like that's a sunk cost. A lot of times, people feel like, well, I got to get the accounting work done just so I can do the tax, and it's all stupid anyways. I just hate paying it. What am I getting for this? That's why I like to. That's why I like doing the CFO level and COO level stuff for businesses because that's where you really start making money. That's where I can help you say, yeah, you have to pay for this stuff anyways, but let's see what we can do to use that information so we can help you make more money. Like accounting is about getting good information for your business, good financial information, so you can become more profitable and make changes and decisions in your business. But that's more CFO level work. And then the tax stuff, you just have to mitigate that as best you can. All right. I'm an enrolled agent, meaning I can represent taxpayers before the IRS, just like a CPA. I just took a different exam. It helps small businesses lower taxes through proactive tax planning. I got into that because I was an insurance premium auditor, right? I was running around showing up to people's businesses on behalf of their insurance company. I had to look at their payroll reports, financials, certificates of insurance, tax returns, all that crap. A huge pain in the butt for most business owners. But I would continually see that they were overpaying in taxes, like they just weren't set up the right way, or they were missing like huge deductions. And I was puzzled like why their own CPA wasn't like catching all of that and helping them mitigate the taxes. So that's how we got into this. Now I'm like doing the CFO level work, but we do all of it. It all works together to help put more money in your pocket. So we've been going over contracting business help, how KPIs can save your business in the last couple videos. I believe two videos before this. But then also that kind of if you're stuck in a cycle, right? I've talked about this, so I won't go into it as much, but it's very common for business owners to get into a cycle of you've got no jobs, you do a lot of prospecting and sales and marketing, and then you get a bunch of jobs coming in, and then you feel like you're too busy delivering on the actual work that you stop doing the marketing and the sales that got you all that work in the first place. So you finish up all the jobs, and then you don't have jobs, and you just kind of go in this endless cycle. And you got to figure out like how do you fix that, right? It's just a lack of focus and discipline, and that just means a couple different things. It means you're not focused on doing the core sales and marketing activities consistently every single week, and or you just lack the discipline to do it when you feel like you have to do a million other things. So you're not disciplining yourself like, no, I have to do this thing first no matter what, and then I'll figure out how to do all the other crap that's coming up in the business. So we talked about you need KPIs. Those help you focus, those that helps predict future issues in your business, and then how to delegate. So last year was bigger picture, the fact that you're typically doing 3 to 4 different jobs when you're first starting out a business, right? We talked about like you're usually the chief, like you're the marketing person. You're the one going out and telling everybody what you do. You're trying to get leads. You're also the sales and estimating guy. Like you're actually closing the deals, and then you're having to manage all the projects. You're project manager. That's number three, your project manager. And then a lot of times four, you're actually doing a lot of the work yourself as well. Like you're doing 3 or 4 different jobs. Like you cannot keep doing that and grow your business. Like you're the bottleneck. So you have to delegate. So we went in over all those reasons like why you need to delegate. So this week's video is all about how do you actually do that process? Like how do you actually delegate tasks successfully in your business? So yeah, KPIs lead to focus. Focusing on specific things forces you to delegate because you realize you don't have the capacity to do 3 or 4 different jobs full time. Like there's not even enough time in the day to do that. So first thing you got to do is figure out what you actually do by completing a time audit. So a time audit, I don't think I have it in the free group yet, but I'm gonna get it in there. It's just a way of going through and you're just detailing like every 15 minutes, like in 15-minute chunks, like what are you doing all day, right? Like what time are you showing up to work? What time are you like how long are you spending on the phone doing sales or whatever? How long are you spending just driving to a job site? Like it's just literally like just taking a diary of what you're doing all day. You got to do that for at least a week, if not a couple weeks, because maybe in the contracting a lot of times, no one week is like another. One week might be really heavy on one aspect of like project management. The other one might be really heavy on sales and marketing. So you might need a few weeks to kind of figure out exactly on average how much time you're spending doing all these different things that you're doing in your business. But you're not going to actually, you can't just sit down right now and accurately tell me every single thing you're doing in your business. Like you're going to forget, or you're gonna say, "Oh, today I did like 3 hours of sales." Well, that doesn't tell you anything. Like, what is sales? Like, what specific activities are you doing? Were you picking up the phone and calling? Were you messaging people on LinkedIn or social media? Were you going to a networking event? Were you collecting people's contact information at that networking event? Like, what were you actually doing, right? So it forces you when you realize you have to write down every 15 minutes what you just did in that past 15 minutes. Um, that really forces you to write every single thing you did that day. Like, oh, I had to drive 2 hours out to this job site. I spent 45 minutes walking the site with this guy. And then I had to go back and revise the estimate, and that took half an hour. Like you've got to put that level of detail, right? I did the initial estimate. I revised the estimate. I sent it back for approval. I, whatever you're doing every 15 minutes, you got to document that. That's key. Because then once you do all of that, we can prioritize all the tasks that you do. You might have a list way longer than you ever imagined was possible, right? We need to prioritize all those tasks. And not necessarily like in terms of what's most important, because you're going to feel like they're all important, right? You're like, well, I got to do all of these. Like, how do I choose between which ones I'm going to do? No, prioritizing all the tasks means you got to prioritize them in terms of which ones you like doing the most. All right. Some people really like doing the marketing. They realize they love doing the marketing stuff way more than sales and project management or technician level stuff where you're actually doing the physical work with your hands, right? Other people might realize, oh, I really like all this project management crap. Like I'm okay at the sales and estimating and marketing, but so it's just prioritizing based off what you like doing most. Because running a business and when you're doing 3 or 4 different jobs that you cannot possibly do each of those jobs 40 hours every single week, that's like 120 or 160 hours a week. Like I don't even think that's physically possible. Maybe, but you can't do that long term. You don't want to do that long term. So you got to prioritize and figure out which ones you're going to start delegating. The ones you hate the most, we're going to start at the bottom of the list and start shoveling off the ones you hate the most, right? And that'll free up so much more energy. Usually, the stuff that you're excited to do, a lot of times you might find yourself more energized after doing those things. Like, imagine if you show up to work every day and you've structured it and worked with people to structure it and brought in the right team, that every time you show up to work, like you leave feeling energized and excited for the next day, not like worn out and I can't believe I got myself into this and this sucks and I wish I didn't have to do like half the things I got to do. No, like you can design a business that you're excited to show up to. So we got to prioritize all those tasks. All right, this is the key part. This is probably the hardest thing to do, all right, is recording yourself performing each task. And so recording can be several different things. It doesn't mean you just have to like have a GoPro in front of you or like on your hard hat or something all day. Although maybe you need to do that for some aspects of what you're trying to figure out how to delegate. But taking like a phone call, like if you're doing like a sales call, there's probably specific things that you say that you figured out, like, oh, this phrase seems to really work. Here's how I phrase this part, then I go into this. Like you're gonna have to write out a script, right? Like a generalized like script of like here's the information I gather on this type of call, or here's the things I say and the things I review. Like it is gonna be very tedious, but I promise you, you got to do this. If you do this just one time, then you don't have to do it again. Like you can record yourself on a sales call, and then maybe you already have an assistant and you can tell the assistant like, hey, I need this transcribed. Or you can probably find an AI thing on on uh, on the internet now that will just transcribe it for you. But get that thing transcribed and form it into some sort of phone script that somebody else can use. Yeah, it sucks going through that process, but you do it one time and then you don't ever have to take that phone call ever again, right? Imagine taking those dreaded calls that you hate doing and explaining things or whatever, and you document exactly how you do it that gets good results, and you're able to just hand that off to somebody else. It's very freeing when you're able to do that. So yes, it sucks, but think about how freeing it's going to feel when you're able to hand it off to somebody else. All right. So, but you got to record yourself performing each task. Or if it's something on the computer, you got to figure out how to do the screen share thing. Like you can use Loom is really great. I found for recording, just like you don't even have to have a picture of yourself. Like it's literally just the screen. Like yeah, if I do like screen only, you could literally have Loom and it's just a screen like this. Like you can't see me, but you can hear me talking. Super easy. Then you don't have to worry about weird audio sync issues or anything either. But record yourself performing each task. Maybe you do have to have somebody, like if you're doing a physical task, maybe you do need to have somebody like video record like you actually doing it so you can show them. Yes, again, it sucks to go through the recording process, but you got to think of the end goal of I'm doing this task for the final time, and I don't like doing this task, and it's even worse that I got to record how to do it. But if I do all of that, I will never have to do it again. All right? That's what you got to focus on. You'll never have to do it again once you record yourself on it. All right, but then once you've gone through this process, once you've got all this documented process of like how you do everything, whether you took notes or maybe sometimes you're just in the truck and you got to like write down a quick list and then have somebody type up that list. You got to have like a checklist of how I do this or watch this video like here's the things I specifically click on the computer screen or here's how to log in to this specific website or this app and I have to get this information. I got to do all this stuff over here and put it in the spreadsheet, whatever it is you got all of that documented. Maybe it starts with a checklist and then watch this video and then do this and then watch this video and then maybe you have screenshots of what things look like and you kind of highlight different parts of the screenshots. I've done that before. But once you have all those tasks, you can start realizing, all right, you can start grouping the tasks together. Like, oh, this sounds more like an admin task. So here's a bunch of like administrative stuff. Here's more project, management stuff. Here's more sales related tasks. You can start grouping all those things. And once you have all those tasks, you pretty much have your job description already written. You're like, I need somebody to like, here's how to make a sales call. Here's how to do the scheduling follow up call. Here's how to put together the estimate, whatever those processes are. Like you can literally say, like you have a list of tasks that you want to give to somebody. That's your job description. I need somebody to do this, and this. All right. Throw it on a job board like Indeed, or I don't even know what people use these are using right now, or just word of mouth. Maybe you just start telling friends and family, like, hey, I'm looking for do you know somebody that you think would be really good at doing these things, right? And you got to interview candidates and hire a person. And you've already got all the training material there. That's the hardest part is just having all the checklists and everything. All right. And then you got to repeat that. All right. So if you did that to fill like a management position, now maybe you're going on to like, well, I need like an estimator and somebody can help with the sales stuff. So you just do that for all those other sales and estimating tasks. Write the job description, interview candidates, hire. All right. And repeat. And there is a training process, but you've there is a specific training process where you got to like demonstrate it to them like so you will have to show them in person like here's how I do this if you did a good enough job with the checklist and everything you did then maybe you don't have to physically demonstrate it for them and they can just watch the material but then you do want to say all right show me like now that you've been through that show me how you would do it all right so you can kind of see if they're understanding it or maybe you realize oh, I didn't explain it well enough. I need to like update the checklist or I need to update this part. I need to add a video or whatever. You're continually refining the process. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's going to speed up the process and it makes it so you only have to really train somebody once, right? Because if you have all the training material, you bring somebody in and it's the first time and you're working out kind of the bugs if they for whatever reason leave after a month, you don't have to like sit there and retrain somebody. You know you have all the material there and you just bring them back in, say, hey, here's all the documents, the videos, whatever. Go through it, write down your questions, and then we'll meet and then I'll have you kind of show me how you would do it to see if you're kind of getting it. And it's as easy as that. That's how you delegate. You got to document the process. You got to actually find somebody to do the work and you got to train them on how to do the work. And it's not just saying, hey, here's all the material. You need to have like a two-way thing going on where you have them demonstrate for you so you can help. Most people want to do a good job. All right. So you want to have like two-way feedback there where they can show you, okay, I think you're saying do this and this and this. And if they got it, then great. If not, you can say, oh, no, I think it was this. Or didn't you see that in the video? And maybe you thought you put it in a video or in a checklist and it's not there. And so you just update it. All right. Anyways, I'm going on too long about all this. How to get more help. I hope that was helpful though. It was really hard for me to find starting out specifically how to delegate stuff. I kind of had to figure stuff out like that on my own. There is Trainual out there. I did want to say that Trainual. I think their prices are a lot higher than they were when I last used it a couple of years ago. But I did find that was a very easy way to organize all the checklists and documents or spreadsheets and whatever that I was using, screenshots, videos, everything. So you might want to check that out, or you might just want to keep it internal and use Loom and just show them where the videos are. But anyways, there's free resources and tools for your business, chat with other contractors and exchange ideas. There's free courses on tax, accounting, insurance, and legal issues. The link is in the description below, and get back to work.